Hello guys, very good morning. Today we will learn about stiff leg deadlift. So there are a little bit difference between normal deadlift and stiff leg deadlift. In normal deadlift we do this movement. Okay, this is compound movement. Both joints, knee joint and hip joint, both are working equally, simultaneously working together. And when we do stiff leg deadlift, it means we have to keep our knee lock and only the hip joint movement like this. Okay, this movement. So why we should do this exercise and why people are crazy for this exercise, we will talk about this later. First we have to learn how to do this exercise, what is the correct form and technique, and what are the basic things we have to learn to perform this exercise. Okay, this is not very effective. This is really important thing to understand. This exercise is not very effective. Why it is not very effective, we will talk about it also. Okay, so first we have to learn how to do this exercise. Normal stance, okay, shoulder width stance, same as for a regular deadlift. Okay, grip same, stance same. The only difference is you have to use your hip joint, okay, not knee joint. So keep your knee locked and just move your hip joint. Okay, for example, we will take a demo, small demo for 5 repetitions and then we'll talk. Okay, so this is the posture. Okay, back arch, completely back arch, grip like this. You can also hold cross grip, like it is stronger grip if you are doing with heavy weight. So okay, now this is your starting point. First inhale and down like this, hold down and then come up and then exhale. Again inhale, down, up and then exhale. Okay, now I will show you side view. Okay, so this is the posture. Same thing, inhale, go down, pull down and then come up, then exhale. So arch your back. Okay, completely arch your back, do not round like this, and try to go down as much as possible like this and then come up. Okay, then exhale. Keep your neck in neutral position. Do not extend your neck like this when you're doing this one. Okay, your neck will move along with your torso. Okay, so this is the posture, and when the weight is going down, just try to let the weight go straight down 90 degree. Okay, so what you have to do, just try to push your hip back and you will automatically go down. Just push your hip back and go down. So weight will travel all the way close to your leg here where we tie shoelace. It should not go far from the legs. So there will be no gap between the barbell and the legs. So you have to take the weight in this lane. So for that you have to push your hip back side, then you will be able to take it close to your body. Otherwise, if you directly bend our body like this, then weight will be here. So if I do not push my hip back, then I will do like this. So this is wrong because the weight is going out of the base of support, so it will disbalance. So what you have to do, push your hip back, so weight will be travel close to your body like this. Okay, so this is the form. Neck neutral, inhale, down, push your hip back and you can slightly bend your knees, not completely look like this. Okay, and again inhale, full inhale, down, up and then exhale. Okay, so normally people do this exercise for hamstring muscles. Okay, hamstring muscle grow, to train hamstring muscle grow, but you make sure that this joint, okay, hip joint, hip extension is done by mostly gluteus maximus. Okay, so this is the biggest muscle to extend your hip, and hamstring muscle groups are assisting from downside. It is not the prime mover in this movement. When we do any exercise like squat or deadlift or leg press, wherever any movement where our hip joint is extending, it means the gluteus maximus is working as a prime mover and hamstring muscles are working, because there are 4 muscles in hamstring muscle group, and the one head, the bicep femoris, okay, short head of bicep femoris is shorter, it is not crossing that hip joint, understand. So whenever you doing this exercise, your hamstring muscles are assisting here, not working as a prime mover. Okay, the main muscle here working is gluteus maximus, the glutes muscle. Okay, so either you do this movement or this movement, the hip joint, the hip extension is happening, right? Hip extension and hip. So this is compound movement. This hip extension is working with knee joint also, and here only isolation movement, only hip joint is working, but the work of hip extension is done by gluteus maximus and assisted by hamstring muscle. So we cannot make our hamstring muscles working as a prime mover by jumping the gluteus maximus. It is not possible, because this gluteus maximus muscles function is to extend the hip as a prime mover. We cannot directly jump over here, okay, because it is connected here, so it is just assisting. So either you do normal deadlift or stiff leg, you cannot target your hamstring muscle group as a prime mover for this exercise, knee locked, and you doing hip extension like this. So this is stiff leg deadlift, but people think they are doing this exercise to train hamstring, not glutes, but that is not possible biomechanically. Okay, so whenever we are doing this exercise, it means we are targeting our gluteus maximus with isolation movement. So this is isolation movement, single joint is working, hamstrings are assisting, right? So what we have to do, any exercise you do, compound movements are always better than isolation movement. It is safe, it keep our joints safe, and there is no unnecessary load on joints when we are doing compound movement. And compound movement, you can lift heavy weight maximum intensity on compound, but in not isolation. Okay, so suppose if you are doing any exercise where isolation movement, the one joint is getting a lot of stress, but when we do compound movement, it is safer for joint, and also it is functional. In daily routine, we do any activity with compound movement, not single joint movement. Okay, so if you are doing stiff leg deadlift, it is not functional, it is not targeting your hamstring muscle primarily, it is targeting your gluteus maximus, but we have other effective exercise and better than this exercise to train our gluteus maximus, like deadlift, compound movement deadlift. You can lift very good weight in deadlift, in squat, but you cannot lift heavy weight in stiff leg deadlift, because single joint is involved, and we cannot lift heavy weight in single joint. You have to combine other joints like knee joint. That is the reason when we do deadlift, normal deadlift or sumo deadlift, we can lift heavy, but same weight we cannot lift same weight in this stiff leg deadlift. So that is the reason this exercise is not very effective, neither for gluteus maximus or for hamstring. So you should try to avoid this exercise. Sometime you can do, but not on regular basis, because it is not very effective exercise, but it is very fancy exercise. Many people do this, especially women. So they try with, sometimes they try with dumbbells, or they try with, so you know, when we do this exercise, we feel stretching in our hamstring muscle, because when we are bending our body, so this is the normal stretching posture, right? When we do our posterior stretch, we do this movement, right? So even if you are not holding the weight, not doing any stiff leg deadlift, but still you can feel the same stretching here, same feeling here. Why? Because you are stretching your hamstring. So people when do this exercise, stiff leg deadlift, they do when they go down and they feel the stretching, so they think that the hamstring muscles are only muscles which are involved in and working primarily, but that is not true. We feel effectiveness because we are just stretching this, right? But it is not the prime mover when we doing stiff leg deadlift. So this is the myth. That's why we do not have to add this exercise in your primary routine. Sometime you can do this exercise. This exercise only good for people who have some injury in knee joint. Suppose if I have knee problem, I cannot bend my knees with weight, but still I want to train my gluteus maximus, my glutes and my other muscle group. So suppose if I have knee problem, I cannot do squat, I cannot do regular deadlift, then this exercise is the best for those people. So there is a condition, it is called conditional exercise. It should be done in some particular condition like joint problem, right? So if I have knee problem, then I can keep my knee locked without using my knee joint, still I can train my gluteal group, right? Like this. So this exercise is purposeful for only those people who have knee joint or knee problem. Same thing like if I have elbow problem, some injury here, so I cannot use my elbow in this compound movement. Even if I am doing chest press or I am doing any pulling movement, I cannot fold my elbows because it is injured. So in this condition, what I have to do, I have to lock my elbow joint. I do not have to use my elbow joint, but still there are some exercises I can do. For example, if I want to do chest exercise but without using my elbow, then I have to do fly exercise, right? This exercise is isolation movement. My chest muscles are working but without using elbow joint. If I am doing pulling, I want to train my latissimus dorsi muscle, then I have to do straight arm pull down on cable, this movement. On cable we do this movement. So I am not using my elbow, but still I can train my latissimus dorsi. Same thing. So these are some particular exercises which is done in some certain condition like joint problem, either your elbow joint or knee joint. So you do not have to add this exercise in your workout routine, and now you understand very well that why this exercise is not very effective. So rather than doing this stiff leg deadlift, always try to be master in regular exercise, most effective exercise like regular deadlift, squat. You can train your gluteal muscles with very effectively by doing squat, front squat, back squat, deadlift, lunges, step up. There are so many effective exercises you can do for glutes, okay? But this exercise is not very effective. That's why I will never suggest stiff leg deadlift or hip thrust. Same thing in hip thrust. In hip thrust, this exercise you can put heavy weight because there is not enough range of motion. That's why, and you are taking support. So supported exercise and partially movement, so you can lift heavy weight to just to show up, or it's like fancy workout. But you shouldn't try to avoid both exercise because these are not very effective exercise. Okay guys, so if you have any confusion in this exercise, please write me on the comment box and we will talk about it later in upcoming videos. Thank you so much.